This is the new and long-awaited LAMZU THORN. This is the second mouse LAMZU has made after the surprise hit of last year, the Atlantis. LAMZU came out the winner during the great battle of the endgame gear XM1 wireless clones of 2022, and quickly became a fan favourite. It even made a splash in the professional Apex Legends scene, with it being the joint third most used mouse at ALGS. But can they continue the success with their new Thorn? Well, after a long delay, with an original release date of late April, I now have it in my hands. And let me tell you now, it's really...
Ergonomic mice have been pushed to the side over the past couple of years, with the only real high performance option being the Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro, and that's it, just the Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro. Basically, it's been a bit dire for ergonomic mice, until now. So how does the Thorn compare to the best ergonomic mouse available right now? Could a small company that's now made two mice go up against one of the most established brands in gaming that also has a research and development budget of $10 billion?
This comes with a Pixar 3395 sensor, which is what features the most high-end gaming mice these days, unless you're Zowie and you want to charge a higher price for a lesser sensor. Or if you're Razer, who, with their $70 billion research and development budget, sit on the pinnacle of sensors with their Focus Pro 30K optical sensor. The Thorn does come with a bit of extra spice that sets it apart from the rest of the competition. First, it's using a Nordic MCU. For those that are probably thinking, what does that even mean? Will it make me better? It won't, but you're getting better quality components that are able to make various performance numbers go up. Additionally, it does enable a 4000Hz polling rate to be usable with this mouse.
And following in the footsteps of the Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro, to get 4000Hz polling rate you need to buy a separate dongle, but it only costs about $13.
So LAMZU have squeezed as much juice as they possibly can from this mouse performance wise.
Failing to hit the highest ranks with this mouse in the game that you play would be an embarrassment, and a key reason why your parents don't love you.
But we aren't done with the futuristic high-performance tech yet, my friends, because unlike the Atlantis, which was using a couple of versions of Huano mechanical switches, this mouse is now using optical switches, just like the DeathAdder V3 Pro. The benefits of optical switches are there's no chance of there being any double clicking that you'd get with mechanical switches. This is because beams of light being used to send signals instead of pesky physical parts. And here's the sound check. I've been using this to play Path of Exile, which is a game where you do nothing but click. So I've tested it thoroughly and I'll give you my opinion on these a bit later on. But first, let's get to the headlining feature of this mouse, the shape.
As I said, there's been some poor choices of ergonomic gaming mice recently, with the key choices being either a Razer DeathAdder V3 Pro or an Zowie ECCW. I'm saying this now, if I see a comment saying, do you think they'll make a mini version, or I can't wait for a mini version of this mouse, I am going to go insane.
Because this is a small ergo shape. It's 119mm long, 65mm wide, and 42mm tall. It's small enough. I swear when I reviewed the G-Wolves HSK Pro 4K, someone said they wanted a mini version of it. In terms of similar shapes, there aren't many to go by. This is probably most similar to the Vaxi Outset, which isn't exactly a mouse that is familiar to everyone and doesn't have a wireless version. The curves on this aren't too outrageous. There's no parts that really curve in too steep, but this isn't a design that I feel is trying too hard to be the most comfortable mouse, and that's not a bad thing. Something that could affect the comfort is the coating, which is similar to the Atlantis. I think someone on a video I posted described the coating as chalky, which I would say is an accurate description which applies to this one. A new added feature, one that I don't remember as part of the Atlantis review that I did last year, is software. It's free, and the software is about as mediocre as you can get. It functions at least, but it's pretty rough. It's not as bad as the ROG Armory crate though. I guess it is better than Synapse, as it loaded in a few seconds instead of 5 minutes as well.
So now we get to the most important part of any review, and that is my opinion. And where I tell you if you should buy this mouse or not. You should. for many reasons, and there's maybe one reason why you wouldn't want to buy it.
Going back to the shape, despite me normally wanting to get a big boy ergonomic mouse, this is honestly very comfortable. As I've said, as there aren't many areas of the mouse that stick out, it makes it more comfortable as you just plop your hand in it. I don't think I've ever adjusted my grip position once with this mouse. Every time I hold it, it's just comfy. But there is a downside to the comfort which I'll share shortly, but first, the switches. Optical switches can be a bit hit or miss because you lack the consistent and quality feedback that you get from mechanical ones. There's been a few versions of optical switches, some have been good like the Razer optical switch, some have been awful like the Roccat Titan switch. But these feel good, they don't have that real crispiness that you get with mechanical, but they are up there as some of the best optical switches I've used. Now back to the downside, which is the coating. As described above, this coating feels chalky, but without the actual chalk coming off on your hands. So I feel like this is one of the downsides to this mouse. I would have much preferred for them to go for something a bit coarser. As for ergonomic mice, which are more likely going to be used by palm grippers, you want something that is maybe more comfortable. There is grip tape that comes included, but I just don't like grip tape, so I don't consider that a solution to make up for a less desirable coating. But for sweaty gamers that intend to properly palm grip this mouse, it might be uncomfortable, so be warned. Having said that, I am a sweaty gamer myself and I haven't had a problem yet, but that is mainly because in England summer is effectively cancelled. But that is it for the negatives. Everything else on this mouse is perfect. Even the scroll wheel is superb, with the notches being quite stiff while still being scrollable, and the side buttons feel great and are very easy to reach. I've been playing with this for a couple of weeks now and it just feels fantastic. Even after long hours of playing games, I've experienced no discomfort or anything. The 52-gram weight makes it so easy to move around the mousepad, so it probably attributes a lot to my old man wrists being able to play for longer with this mouse.
But now it's time for the big question, and the big answer. Is this the new ergonomic king to buy? Yes. And for one main reason, the price. This costs just $93. The best one on the market, the Death Adder V3 Pro, costs $150.
So it's a significant price gap for what is an amazing mouse. The quality of LAMZU products that I have experienced thus far has been fantastic. The Atlantis quality blew me away and the Thorn does as well.
So now you've got a new mouse, how about a new mousepad? There's a video on screen of a mousepad review on now that's worth checking out.